My name is John OWOO, and I'm the editor of AskGhana.net. For a long time, I've been working as a freelance journalist, writing about the arts for different newspapers. And I had a particular interest in the visual arts, like painting, sculptures. But most of the newspapers, the people in charge of the culture page, they are only interested in popular music, and they think the visual arts is not too important. Of course, now the situation have changed because now they see that the visual artists are becoming international stars. So now they understand a little bit. So sometimes I go see exhibition, do a nice story, and they don't publish, So I decided to set up my own website so I can publish what I write. And that's how come it started. But of course, I didn't have money to do a website. And at the time, websites were now becoming, new. We didn't really know how it would work. But I had a foresight. I realized that in the future, electronic will take over the newspapers. I was thinking like that. Luckily, we had a fund from the European Union, and they were giving just small money for startups and for little things. So I got some funding from the European Union, and then I built the site. I built the site and we started writing and for a year or two or three, and then I was in Johannesburg, no, Cape Town, for the World Summit of the Arts. And then I met this woman who said, "Wow, you are for us Ghana, we've been looking for you." And she said she's working for Soup Planet and this and that. And then we had a meeting in Cape Town, and then she said to me she'll come to Ghana, so I should assemble my team. So she came, and about four of us, we met this woman in a small house in not far from here, and we had a big discussion. So they promised to offer us 10,000 euro to create a database of artists. So they all agreed. There was a webmaster and two of my colleagues, of course, senior colleagues, and one other person. But then for some reason, the other person was doing his PhD, he became busy. The other man was also writing and doing, so I have to do it all alone, and I managed to do it. It was a lot of work. Luckily, I was not working with Goethe, I was just sitting here, so I had all the time. So I did it, and I traveled to the north, south, west to get information for the website, for the database. Now, after that, luckily again, I got a grant from the Danish Center for Culture and Development. They set up what they call the Ghana Culture Fund, Ghana Denmark Culture Fund. So they also supported me with some money, and then we continued. So I was able to pay people, and people were contributing, and I was also able to take transport to go and see music shows, exhibitions, and theater, performances. Now, at some point, we never had funding anymore, and therein lies the challenge. And people who were writing for us expect to be paid, because they also have to survive. We couldn't do it. But I told myself I will never let this website die. Now, there were also challenges with webmasters. They delay you. If there's a small problem that can take 30 minutes, they will take 1 week, and then there's a problem here and there, here and there. So this is the third webmaster I have. Sometimes it's also showing the same signs, which is, I don't know. So basically, I was lucky I got a job with the Goethe Institute. So I used part of my salary to support the website because I still wanted to keep it, and also to especially the visual arts, because if you read the newspapers in Ghana, even the TV, you don't see enough stories on the visual arts and theater and dance. They only talk about popular music, hip hop. So it's not been easy, but because of the dedication, which I always tell young journalists, be dedicated to what you want to do, and eventually you'll be successful. And so I continue to do it. Every year I have to pay 3,000 or 4,000 to the webmaster. But I try to save because it's a vision that I have to, keep. So there have been challenges here and there, but we have survived. And I'm happy that Wacom is in now to help us to be able to do video stories now, stories and video. And the pledge is that we will continue to work. We will not give up. We are dedicated. We love the arts, and we would love to continue to promote it. Whatever the cultural field is difficult. Africans love the arts. They love culture, but they don't necessarily want to read about culture. Now we have to introduce this to them, and I'm happy that a few of the groups like Halakasa and then Noyam, they work now with schools, so they are making students interested in poetry. Now the next step is to encourage them to read about the arts. So I hope that the major challenge is that people don't read in our part of the world, let alone read about the arts. But I believe that we can make a change in a small way. We can start introducing uh, the arts to people. In other words, arts criticism or arts reading about the arts, among our young people, and then they will grow up, and then we'll have a solid base of readers who will support arts journals and news.